After that crazy Gen V finale, after that awesome Loki episode 5, after the Invincible season 2 premiere, we finally are getting the thing we've all been waiting for. The
Spider-Man 4.
Echo.
That's what we're waiting for.
Echo. I'm joined by Coy right now. We're letting John sleep. Getting a lot of shade for this already for some reason, and we can take guesses as to why. But you know what? I'm going in with an open mind. Are you?
I am. I'm a big David Mack fan. He co-invented Echo, so I'm excited to see what this is.
This is TVMA.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. Isn't that awesome?
That's exciting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it changes kind of the mind frame around some stuff we've heard. Ladies and gentlemen, leave a like. Let's see what this looks like.
Maya.
Oh, Kingpin right away.
The first line, I think, is Kingpin.
I see everything that you are. I always have.
Full Kingpin.
Nice. It's gritty Kingpin.
Right, TVMA Kingpin. Blood on the white suit.
Oh my god, this actually feels violent.
Don't be afraid.
This feels like the Kingpin we know.
Yeah, this is not like Hawkeye at all so far. That jump a little.
Loving the sound design so far.
You have so much pain in you. You.
Ah,
Echo.
yes.
So much rage.
Rage.
That you can't contain it.
Yo, this trailer's working for me.
Yeah, this is a great trailer. And the guy from Hawkeye, right? Punished.
Oh! Yo, there's actual violence here.
Yeah, they shot the guy in the head.
Oh my god!
A little Daredevil
Is
tease.
it Daredevil? Yeah.
You and I are the same.
Oh, the connection between her and Kingpin.
So, who's the monster?
Post Hawkeye.
Hi.
I thought that
Wait,
was a great trailer.
Is that what? So your profile to TVMA to stream. There's like a setting to get to Echo.
Whoa! Holy crap! Wow! There's been a lot of morbid, cynical thoughts surrounding this show. You know what this made me think of? There's been so many people who have been really making www.rejectnation shop thrive this year. My God, guys, thank you so much. We got shirts like Citizen Gang over there. The one Coy's rocking right now, the Real Rejects ticket stuff. We also got Child Protection Services. We got Space Babies of the Galaxy. We got Who Watches the Influencers, or Who Influences the Influencers. I mean, it's Watchmen inspired. That's where I got confused. We got Last of Us inspired tees. We got Ahsoka inspired tees. We got Loki tees. It has been a successful year, and it's personally my favorite way to support the channel. So thank you guys so much for going out of your way and checking out that shop. Coy, yeah, man, I just got to say that I thought that I liked the character-driven narrative here between her caught in sort of this darker phase in her life and watching how her development, and excuse me guys, it was just nonstop editing all day yesterday, so I'm getting my brain working right now again. Yeah, watching the development between her and Kingpin, seeing sort of the crossroads she's at between being a hero and succumbing to the darkness, but you're watching how she became like Kingpin. Like, we're doing it through visual, physical representation of it. My favorite part about it, especially with Kingpin, was I was one of those people who was like, I wasn't a big fan of the way he was portrayed in Hawkeye, and this feels more akin to how Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal was in the Daredevil show. I really enjoyed all the I think it's Choctaw inspiration of the Indian nation. I like seeing the vibe.
It's
of
probably
it.
the people we've seen the least on screen. Like Native Americans are probably the people we've had the least groups of represented
Dude.
in a big property. So I'm like excited to see because that like violence looked hardcore. The culture that I don't know a lot about. Like I'm Cherokee somewhere down the line. It's cool to be like learn that like we had with Miss Marvel. Like I got to learn more about Muslim culture through the comic and then even more through the show. It'd be cool if they get to touch on that through this show.
It's because they're trying to get in with Martin Scorsese, who just
like play the long game.
They did the Colors of the Flower Moon, which is a different.
When they
name,
greenlit that, they went through like, what characters do we have that are Native American? Let's get Scorsese to direct Secret Wars.
Yes. I was pleasantly surprised by this trailer, man. I thought it would just be like a cheese fest.
I was afraid this trailer would be the things I didn't like about Hawkeye, which tended to be really, really rough editing, a cheesy-ish tone, kind of undermining the more serious elements of the characters I love. Like, I really love Hawkeye, and when they let him be a family man, that worked. I really loved Kate Bishop
Family
when they
man.
let her, like, lean into that, like, fighter, but also, like, being young, that worked. But when they undermine both of them, and especially, like, we both had Kingpin problems, it really didn't work. So I wasn't all that excited for Echo, not because of Echo, but because of Hawkeye. So the fact that they're kind of making this shaped more like the Kingpin show is interesting because clearly that's the draw versus like character like Echo, which isn't known as well. But that's kind of how you get characters that aren't known as well in. That's kind of how comics work. Here's a character you know and love. Here's a guest starring role. Obviously, the show is called Echo, but I thought it was smart to have the lead of the trailer, not the lead of the show, pull you in by having Kingpin as like your eye line, right? So you get your familiarity, and it's more the familiarity of Daredevil's tone, and then you also get the surprise for us of the violence, the white suit with the blood splatter, the insane stunt work, that one shot of Daredevil. I was afraid this would be, okay, let's like catch up on Echo, maybe a lot of flashbacks. When I saw 2 minutes, I was like, it's going to be like a minute of Hawkeye, and then maybe like they'd sprinkle in a cameo. And then it opening with Kingpin, at first I was like, oh, this kind of like, it's not the Echo show, it's the Kingpin show. But then I was like, wait, they're connecting these two people through this narrative, through this violence, through this situation. And then the audience is going, wait, I am interested because I am familiar with these characters. So I thought it really worked.
Yeah, well, a big part of it is that it just doesn't feel like they were utilizing Kingpin to get some guest star cameo in there.
Right.
It's about the relationship between them.
He's the co-lead from the story, not just the way they utilized him.
Exactly. Like, it's about the influence of the relationship that she had with him and also the dichotomy of the situation, because it is her father in
a sense.
in a sense, right? Like, we had I forget some of the details and the specifics of the Hawkeye show with her actual father, but this is her father figure, still someone who raised her. You also got the complexity that, yeah, she shot him, and even though he lost his eye, he still doesn't want her dead. Like, he seems like he still really cares very much for her in that one scene. And the other part about it, too, that I loved is I was not interested in an Echo show.
We've both been like, well, that's out this year.
But this made her seem like a very compelling character in a way that made me go, yeah, I'd be down to actually see this character. The things that have me concerned are all the behind the scenes stuff.
Right. The fact that they're putting it out in one day. But, that could be just like viewer reception, not of necessarily the show, but of people like us going like, do we want this? It could be reactionary to not the content, but to the feedback from Hawkeye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is maybe how you get people to watch it, by having a Kingpin focal point, having Daredevil cameo, but if you do it in a day, you're going to have people talking about all of those things. Maybe that's the idea.
I love the framing of a lot of this. A lot of these flashback shots. What's funny about it is it kind of has the cinematography of the Daredevil
It's
movie.
like they flashed back to Daredevil, the movie, not the show.
You thought
They're
it too. It doesn't it kind of look like the
There's
Daredevil
definitely
movie?
some like 2000s like Marvel Fox vibes. Like there's definitely, I was like, all right, so is the Daredevil getting in this Charlie Cox or Ben Affleck?
Thank God you felt it.
Oh
too,
no!
'cause
When they showed the inside, I don't know what it was, but something about the inside of the car POV. I was just like, new metal's coming.
it's the cinematography of it that really feels. I think it's Mark Steven Johnson.
Yes.
It definitely feels like that. But I think there's a lot of really cool symmetry in these shots, a lot of cool framing. I don't know if the sound design is just due to I feel like they'll probably do some of the cool sound design with going in and out of Echo's perspective because she is deaf. So you would, and they did that in the Hawkeye show too, right? Yeah.
I think they showed more violence in this trailer than they did in Moon Knight.
Yeah, and I mean, it being TVMA is pretty neat, and maybe that's one of the reasons they decided to dump all the episodes at once. That just seems like such.
It's just such a weird. Also, it's the last Chapek show. Like, I
Sure,
think
yeah,
Iger
yeah.
came in, and so Cap 4 is like half Chapek, half Iger era, if I'm remembering correctly. I think this is the last full Chapek. Maybe they're just like, let's end this era in 2023. Let's 2024 clean.
I think it's a weird ass time
it's
to
January. They moved it.
I think it's a weird ass time to release this trailer because of what it's being sandwiched in between.
Yeah. I thought this was like December for some reason, but it's January, so they didn't need to rush it.
I'd be lying if I gotta say, like, I thought this was a better trailer than both Marvel's trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it showed more of what I haven't seen the Marvels. This felt like I know more of what it's about. Whereas the Marvels trailers, I'm just like, there's stuff happening, and they got Beastie Boys.
It's a solid trailer, and I think, like, just with their Disney Plus experience, maybe the first episode will be like good, and then I'm just kind of hoping it doesn't.
One will dip halfway. The penultimate episode will be not as story driven, but it'll have stuff happen, and maybe they'll punch at the end.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't meander or something like that. That's the one thing, even visual and tonal wise, I could see it happening where it's like really there's like gravitas. It's really serious. It looks cool, but then maybe it becomes a little perfunctory and
they
a little
hold way
monotonous
too
and
long
slow.
on some stuff. They're like, all right,
Yeah,
well, they're walking into that building.
Yeah,
There
so
they go.
I could see a bad version of this, but for a first trailer, I gotta say it really won me over a lot.
I'm shocked. This is
won me
maybe
over.
the biggest surprise trailer of recent memory.
Definitely, yeah. I was very cynical about it.
That's honest. That's honest.
I did not want to wake up to do this after working so late.
But this
Yeah.
looks the most different of expectation to reality, but also from what we got the last time we saw a character to the new.
1,000%, man. Alrighty, guys. What did you think about this Echo trailer? Were you as pleasantly surprised by this as we were? People are probably mad at us for even liking the
Even
trailer.
confirming that we're watching it, even acknowledging that we are here, Greg.
I'm sure there are people who are also mad because we came in a bit cynical,
And then
we
got
liked
positive.
it, and they're like, "Why were you negative before?"
Okay,
I was
yeah.
like,
The people that commented 10 seconds in are like, why are you negative?
Yeah.
People that waited to the end are like, why are you shills? And now the sentence I'm going to say is going to piss off a lot of people that are fans of. This reminded me of The Equalizer.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Dude, totally.
Like
Which
a
has-
ponderous
yeah,
violence
definitely.
and like what violence does to a person and stuff.
Yeah, and then really using like your keen sense of awareness
And using the like environment
assess
around you
violence.
for
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the tone of it gave me Equalizer vibes.
100%.
So yeah, deal with that, comment board. Sorry for talking so much.
Retargeting.
Just
Alrighty, guys.
talking to Loki fans.
Let me get this up.
Should-
And,
Deadpool's in
I'm
this
gonna
trailer.
try to take a nap, and I forgot to
Thanks, I'm
mention we're gonna be doing a live stream tomorrow for those who care who made it this far.
Hey, if you're still watching, Invincible, Loki, news, all the stuff tomorrow. Live
a
stream,
lot.
be here.
See you guys.